Hello and welcome to D&D Sundays at Mammoth Tales.
Woo!
We are back. We are back. We are not at PAX.
We are not at PAX.
We're not at PAX, but we're here.
This time.
This is how freaking dedicated we are. We'll be at PAX.
Hell yeah.
We'll be on stage with all the fans down the front.
Oh yeah.
We are here to jump into our next session of Celestial Sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
But before we start, I don't have Jordan to throw to because Nix was a little bit silly last week.
He was.
However, we have finished our campaign coins, crits and fails tokens giveaway. We got to our subscriber limit?
Yeah,
Goal?
Yeah, goal, yeah. 10%.
And you did a roll during the week, Abby, and we're very happy to be
of your greatest adventures.
Treasure worthy of your greatest adventures. We're very happy to be giving away the tokens to Zen Pagan.
Woo!
So congratulations, Zen.
Congratulations.
Zen, you've been watching for a while. We always see you in chat. Super lovely to have you. Thank you very much. And we get in touch with us either by chat or directly to Campaign Coins. They are waiting for your details. And unless anyone has anything that they want to say.
I'm chilling like a villain.
Excited.
We should return to Lixium. We shall return to South Peak, to a very dark night during a void moon once per 60 days when the moon disappears from the sky. The planes converge and gets a little bit nasty outside. We managed to rescue Bartholomew and Hayton's dad, who, I don't know, was trying to rescue himself from the underground tunnels created by some means for the Mind Flayers and Illithid Gith crew to begin sapping and usurping below South Peak. Managed to thwart a black dragon, a young black dragon, completely caught off guard and run away because Anwei decided to scare it so much that it didn't help it
Hell yeah.
dive back under the waters from whence it came.
I was just channeling my youth.
Pulled Bartholomew out, dusted him off, maybe his ego bruised more than anything else, and brought back to to Boomy, Hayton's dad's little hovel, where during the night the Arakocra monk Nix decided to not be so comfortable, understandably, sleeping underground, disappeared up onto the roof and was onset by beings of some kind of elemental nature that, despite the best efforts of the others at the table, took his life. We return. It's about 9, 10, maybe, after discussions had been had. Nix had disappeared essentially immediately out onto the roof. You have returned back inside. Nix is getting a little bit colder. You are mourning the loss of your familiar, your companion for a very long time, or at least through some of the hardest times you've had recently, Iris. Boomy is down by the fire. He's still trying to work with the necklace that he pulled from you. So over to you guys.
Anwei has emotionally fallen asleep, like the drunk, messy girl she is.
Does anybody know how these people like to be buried? Bird people, whatever the fuck it was.
Not a clue. This is the first I've ever met the Arakocra.
Arakocra. Well, we're going to have to wait until the morning to do anything, so I just put a blanket over him for now. Whoever was there.
So you maybe bring him down the stairs,
Mhm.
essentially, a little bit closer to the fire or off to the side, put a blanket over him. Boomy's just kind of staring into the fire at the moment.
Could someone help me find Iris? I can't see.
Yeah, I go over and I bring Iris to you.
Yep, I'm just going to take Iris and start trying to feel my way back down the stairs.
Mhm.
I give you a hand. Why did the idiot go down into the void moon?
Why didn't he want to be safe?
I don't know. I suppose we have to wait it out now. I'm sorry about your bird.
Thank you. I'm just going to, feel my way down. Is there a fire lit?
There is a fire lit.
Inside?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be getting too much smoke. It seems to be like a fairly. There may be some form of magic keeping it from smoking the place out.
Yeah. I'm just going to sort of find a spot where I can feel the warmth of it.
Yep.
And
You feel your way down. Moss sort of. You find the way that that the path seems to lead. Obviously, it gets a little bit denser where Boomy hasn't been walking, so you follow your footsteps as best you can. And there's some wooden little chair, half made, sitting near the fire if you want, or just you can sit on the floor.
I'm just going to sit on the floor. Still coming to terms with not being able to see again all of a sudden and sort of grappling with, I guess, this pact, because I was sort of like granted sight through it, and now I don't have that, and I'm sort of stuck with the pact. Yeah, seeing the power of it the other night, just earlier when I got enraged, I think I'm just a little shell shocked from everything.
Yeah.
Just sit on the ground like that.
Great.
What's Hayden doing?
It's all a lot for Hayden. She's a little bit dumbfounded. She doesn't understand why he was out there. Hayden saw Nyx as someone who was very worldly, understood the danger, and there's a lot to Nyx that Hayden doesn't understand. So she's sitting fairly near to Boomy, fairly near to yourself, and just kind of staring into the fire too.
And Bart isn't here, is he?
Bartholomew's not there.
Okay, I went back to his tower. And Boomy's staring into the fire.
It's just sort of toying with the crystal in his hand.
I go into the other side of the fire because he's big and he's still freaking me out. But says, isn't that Willow's crystal?
Who are you saying that to?
Boomy.
So looks at it. Who's Willow?
He was someone who travelled with us. And he died.
I've seen one of these before.
A necklace.
He no, she wasn't wearing it as a necklace. But the shards, the way the light moves through this stone, it's the same thing. I just don't know what it is.
What, so it's magic?
Yeah. She cast things from it. She did something with it, like something came out of it. I just don't know what she did with it.
Who?
I don't know. I never know her name. A friend of Yanagar's.
A guild member?
No.
Do you know what those things were outside?
Yeah. They're from an elemental plane like me. I'm of earth, they are of air. And the very primal forces that make us, I get to live through greater intelligence, but there are those of my kind who live for nothing more than destruction, self-support. They just live on the energy that they were given. So, as an earth elemental or an air elemental may gain a certain amount of intelligence, I manage to keep enough to keep me stable and sane. Those ones look like they were just working out of prime influences. They were just air.
But I've never seen anything like that before. I've been outside at every single void moon, and I've never seen anything from another fucking plane.
The last few chapters with these folk crossing this guild, messing with the powers that bind the planes together, things are becoming more and more unstable. And you would have seen hints. You would have seen something during the void moon. It's not a safe place to be out in the void moon, but even now it's becoming more and more dangerous. Greater and more powerful entities are being able to move through, and we don't know why.
Yeah, and they tend to pick on people that are alone.
Yeah, well, cowards usually do.
Is everyone from your plane like that?
No. Beautiful place. Big cities. Those air folk are unpredictable. We don't mess with them.
I just don't understand why he would go out into a fucking void moon. It doesn't make any sense.
He was starting to endear himself to me. He sort of sits back,
What?
stretching his arms. Nix. He seemed bloody smart.
Yeah, well, obviously not.
He did it for some reason. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't have no clue. How long have you known him? How long have you known him?
Oh, like, what, 3 days?
Yeah, right.
I'm asking, like, as an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 days.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I was just snoring in the corner.
She's like collapsed on a hammock and like half in the hammock, half out of the hammock, and every now and then you hear her be like,
Yeah, 4 days.
Yep.
Not a long time at all.
Yep.
oh.
Okay, no, she's asleep. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, he seemed like he knew what was going on, but...
Boomy just has no clue. He looks over at Nix and looks back at you. So, we're going to bring him back?
What?
Nix. I mean, I don't know. His actions suggest that maybe he wanted to pass. But Bartholomew might find a way to, like, at least preserve him. Or, I don't know. He's done some pretty weird shit.
What do you mean bring him back?
Well, just because he's passed now doesn't mean he has to stay passed.
That's something you can do?
Yeah. I can't do it. There's not many who can, and sometimes it comes with a price, but I saw Bartholomew work with some little container or jar or something one time, and he managed to trap the entity in the jar. I don't know much beyond that, but crew left with the jar and no body. Apparently to go and bring their other companion back.
And he can bring anybody back from the dead?
Bartholomew can't. But I think he knows how.
Anyone?
Oh. You'd have to ask him that. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't even seen it done. I just know that he was doing it, and I just saw this jar. Hayden reaches over and, yeah, Dad, give me that. And asks for the stone.
It's hanging in New Zealand now.
Yeah.
Oi!
Grabs the stone and she picks it up to look at it. And then you see her eyes kind of roll back, and the stone disappears into her hand.
The white stone?
The white stone.
Willowstone?
Willowstone. Disappears into her hand and then forms up into her arm. And she just sits there quietly for a second.
Has she ever done this before?
Nope. And she just sits there and then looks back up at you and her dad. Well, that was weird.
What the fuck just happened?
I don't know. But now I remember something. And looking down at the stone, it was almost identical to her other stones.
To the crystals in her hair.
In her hair, some in her skin. And she goes on to recount a memory that she didn't have before, of her in a small, disheveled cottage. It's dark. There is 2 humans there, Marin humans, dark-skinned humans. One very sickly on the bed, and her hand over the sick, quite young boy, and putting a healing hand over this human. And she's apparently done this before. This is something that she remembers. I don't have that memory. I've never been there. That's not me. Well, that's weird, right?
This was Willowstone?
This is Willowstone. This is the stone that he had around his neck.
Okay. And the stone's back, like it didn't just fucking seep into her skin or anything.
It's gone.
Oh, it's gone. Okay.
Yes, it seeped into his skin.
Ew. Ew. Oh, so you've never done that before?
No. And I've never been in a cottage before healing a little bloody human. I don't know. But it felt like me. I mean, I couldn't see myself. I guess my skin was different. I don't really know.
Okay.
You've never had that experience with another kind of gem before?
No. Never. Is that weird? It's weird. Have you ever seen another gem like that?
Oh, fucking.
And Boomy's kind of looking at her. Mate, I need to get that other one.
What?
The other gem that I saw that was like this one. Yanagar's friend. I don't even know where she would be.
What colour was it?
The same. Exactly the same.
It was white.
Yeah. A little bit bigger. A little bit bigger.
Can you do that with any crystal?
I don't know. Give me one.
Do we have all... We brought our stuff.
You got all your
down,
stuff with
didn't
you.
we?
Yep.
Yep. I have the blue... There were blue gems in the chest, right? I have the blue gems in the chest if you want to grab one of them.
Oh, okay. I do so, wherever it is. Yeah,
Against the wall.
the wall. Okay, go
So
to the wall.
go and rifle through, you see a lot of these very beautiful blue, otherworldly gems. You've never really seen anything like this before. It doesn't look like they don't look cut. They look like they've almost been naturally formed and cut, but they don't look man-made in any way. And they're a lot larger. They're a lot bigger. So Hayton grabs it and waits, sort of looks at you guys. The gem glows slightly, and she says that it feels familiar, but she's never really seen it before. And she glows a little bit too, even maybe turning slightly blue.
But it doesn't.
But it doesn't do anything else. She doesn't get any visions. She just likes it. She's like, yeah.
She thinks it's neat.
She vibes with this gem. It feels good. Yeah. And hands it back to you.
We have our own lava lamp of gems. Cool.
Nightlight.
Yeah. Yeah, just insert a new one to change the colour.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Hayton can
Just go.
T-pose in the corner.
Bush to frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I knows none of this.
Salome is asleep.
Or meditating. She doesn't.
Meditate. She's just staring at the roof while going.
She's that drunk.
Where did you even get these from? Did you just get them from a mine?
And they were in a cave on Paradise Island,
Where is that?
just off the coast of Port Travis, where we first met.
Is it a magic island?
No more than any other island I've been to.
Right.
But the gems themselves are more interesting than any I'd ever seen before.
And you don't know what they do.
Ooh,
I
they
don't know.
sell for a lot of money.
I don't know. It made her glow bright blue, so I could do something else.
Well, I didn't think the gems really had that much to them until finding this red gem. That,
Could you do the same with the red one?
I don't know.
Do you have it on you?
Yep. I reach out and you come to me, please. I can't see any.
Okay. I think I'm forgetting a
A
point.
lot of trust in you at the moment. Yep. And I hand you the red gem that was loose in my pocket. And in the bag is the fake one.
Okay. Yeah. I take it.
Hand it to Hayton.
Yeah.
She sort of looks apologetically at Boomy, who's very confused, and she's like, yeah, sorry, Dad. This is the thing. And grabs the red gem. As she holds it, she starts to hear more sort of feelings of anger. She starts to feel the sort of vibrations that has been described to you in the past of an awakened mind of some kind. But she feels in control. She feels like she's not too worried about it. And she explains that it feels very familiar to her. This is something that she's aware of. This is something that she has felt before, which she doesn't know where from. And beyond that, not too much happens. However, as you're having this interaction, you look over to where you have placed the blanket over Nyx, and there is smoke arising from the blanket.
Oh fuck. Okay, I go over.
Okay, as you approach the blanket,
Yeah.
there is a flame that starts in the middle of the blanket and instantly spreads to the rest of it.
Okay, I rip the blanket off.
You pull the blanket back, and you can see that Nyx's dagger that is on him is on fire.
Damn it! Not the dagger.
What? What?
You wanted to steal it.
Yeah, I was waiting for everyone to go to sleep so I could take the dagger.
Obviously.
Is it?
Tomorrow.
Well, okay, well, I've seen him go on
Because
fire, so
the
it's not...
dagger, it pulls souls out of physical forms. And we want to get a being out of a crystal. Who's to say that the dagger wouldn't be able to do that? Or maybe we could stick it into Nyx's chest and we could draw his soul out of his body. And have him in the dagger. It's like a friend in your pocket.
like Trixeldon.
You like Trixeldon.
In
With-
Always meditation, you hear, Papa?
With Nyx up with the dagger, well, Wick is still clutched. He has the dagger and he has a note now in his right hand. You've never seen that before.
Okay, it wasn't there before.
Oh!
Can I reach over the fire? So
Yeah. It starts to die down once it's gotten the blanket off Nyx.
Okay, cool.
I think it was too hot under that blanket.
It's funnier when he has no sight.
Oh, I feel
Because
like
he had
I'm
pies
invading
this morning.
privacy.
Who's singing?
All of you people are so private about your letters. I feel like I'm invading your privacy.
Is that Harkel or the actor?
It's Harkel. Oh fuck! This is so long.
You can't read! Oh!
She holds it upside down, like, oh god.
Who can read?
Oh
Is-
fuck!
is
Everyone who can read is
Anwe-
asleep.
Is Anwe, like, if I reach around,
You could wake her up if
She
you tried, yeah.
I just
What are you
hit her on
doing? I fall out of the hammock ungracefully.
Oh, fantastic.
You
you need to
are
please.
Okay, am I hungover?
Oh
How long
god,
was
I
I
hated
asleep?
when people write
You haven't been
in the-
asleep very
in the
long.
loopy letters.
You'd definitely be feeling the effects, but you'd be able to focus through it to read a note.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You would have
Still
disadvantage on
hungover?
rolls for like
In the-
attacking and making checks, but you can still read.
Am I still drunk?
The
Right.
tipsy.
So don't worry about
I'm
it.
gonna
You're
be-
doing well.
The wine you had has has an
Once.
effect length.
Yeah.
It's not like normal alcohol.
Pass me the parchment.
I'm fine. It was
It's like
my honor to share it.
Oh god.
you're torturing my ears. Come here.
You torture my ears every
Pass me
fucking
the
night.
parchment, little dragon.
Fine, only because I'm sick of reading it now.
Nyx, you are gifted a turn in the prime once again. It was my honor to share in your re-beginning. Where you go next and how you choose to fulfill this debt is up to you. How will you fare, I wonder? I almost envy those that come to know you as a friend. You are a fierce companion with a heart of wisdom. I didn't see that side of him, but, you know, we all have ideas. God, this is very long.
Yeah.
Know that if you should fall again with this responsibility unfulfilled, you may not like where the afterlife takes you. When your task is done, no more souls seek release. Plunge your dagger into the can stones at Honor's Rest. Noctica's presence is strong there. It will resist outside influence. Only then will you find your everlasting peace. That would be nice. Be aware also that Honor's Rest may provide some sanctuary if outsiders or events ever threaten your connection with the heavens. Your dagger holds a shard of pure divinity, and when sunk into the Khan stones will provide a connection to the heavens should you need guidance. Only do so with great respect and with an open mind. You come back to us at a difficult time next. While your quest is clear, I implore you to keep your heart open to otherworldly deeds in Prime. Darkness stirs, and I'd rather have you here when chaos threatens the world. Your friend, Yanagar. Well, that's nice. Maybe Yanagar's not as dead as we thought.
I'm very confused. So he was brought back already? How many times has this motherfucker died?
Almost trying to focus.
Always trying to focus.
I don't know. Do we know where Khan Stone is?
What the fuck is a
I
Khan
don't know
stone?
what a Khan Stone
Cairn
Cairn.
stone. It's like a little stone structure. Stones piled on stones.
It's very weird.
Boomy has a look around at all of you. Alright, this can't wait till morning. Gets up and walks through the wall.
I'm not going
Fuck
in the
no.
Void Moon.
He walks through the wall.
Oh.
He just
Okay,
disappears
fine.
into the wall.
Does your dad do that a lot?
Hayton. Yeah, he'll be back. He can only do it once a day.
Okay.
If you wait a few minutes, he would be back.
Well, it's gone. I say, were you listening to the conversation? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you were.
No, I
listening.
was meditation.
No, not you.
Oh.
Who? Hayton's father said something.
Rock.
The Rock was saying something about he can bring Nick's back, or you can bring people back. But Bartholomew can, the Dragonborn.
Surely power that great must have a cost.
Well, that's what he said, but I don't really. I've never heard of this ever in my life, so I don't know anything about it.
Well, my kind is brought back, but it's the master of a god who does that, not humans.
Is that what you meant? When you said you live on,
Yes.
you get brought back to life.
Ooh, not as yourself, as someone new.
What?
Your soul continues.
Cool, I understand that completely.
Wonderful. I'm glad you do. She knows she doesn't.
I don't hear it.
But if we could bring someone back, surely we must think of Willow.
I was thinking that as well. But did he die? Or did he just go to a different plane? Were you dead?
I think where I was seemed to be some sort of a limbo. I think I saw the gates to death and was able to rescue Iris just in time before she crossed over, but the place that I was in was like an interim, a weird waiting room.
So he's stuck in limbo? Would he still be there?
It's hard to say.
Can magic really bring anybody back? You would know the most.
What do I know?
About magic bringing people back.
In my books. Have the elves
Books,
ever done it?
books from home? Or
Yeah.
books, yeah.
I don't think the elves would have done it.
No. So the rebirth that happens with the elves is sort of, I guess,
Natural.
managed
Yeah.
by
I'm sorry.
someone.
The cord went right into like the nerve in my funny bone.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all good.
So this is not something that you would know about too much, other than that, high elves do not pass the same way as other non-fey touched creatures do.
Well, I don't know about death. My kind don't die, so I wouldn't. When you die, you're gone. When I die, I continue. Such is the fate of your kind.
Well, you would know that when a mortal on the prime plane dies, they are generally shepherded to the power that they entrusted the most. So they are generally laid to rest within the sanctuary, which is an infinite realm dedicated and presided over by one of the gods.
Okay.
If they had corrupted themselves and been particularly wicked, they would have passed to perhaps a demi-plane of the Nine Hells, which they would have had no control over their soul at that point, and they would have been basically the plaything of demons and devils forever.
Okay.
You would know that much. You would also know of tellings of a very unknown place called Mount Celestia, where only the most perfect of souls end, or sometimes the most just of religious explorers pursue their desire for lifelong divinity. So you can go there. Mortals can pass there if they wish to learn to become more divine. It's about what you'd know about knowing about the gods and about death. Lay that as you see fit.
Cool.
I go into lecture mode. So there's a Nine Hells. And then there's a Mount Celestia.
I understand very little of it.
On a side note, while they're having that conversation, the fire, does it happen to be in a brass brazier by any chance?
No, not at all, actually.
Luck check.
No, sorry.
Look. We should definitely look into helping Nix. But I just feel that I didn't know him very well. It's been 3 days. And he's a bird.
Yeah. And you're an elf.
Exactly.
Exactly. I don't think we're really matching on what we're thinking here.
So I think risking our lives for a bird is a touch dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know him. But I've never heard of a fucking anything able to revive someone. Don't you think it's valuable to know this? If we're going to be traveling together, you almost died. You almost got eaten by a dragon. You could have come back as somebody else, but your body would have still been in a dragon's stomach.
That's fine, it wouldn't be me anymore.
And if a being is important to you, regardless of whether it's a bird or not, I don't think there is being over dramatic. I think we do the things that we can to save the people we love.
Look, you might have a way out of death, but the rest of us don't, according to you. So I just think that this would be something good for us to learn if I'm going to keep taking hits for you, wouldn't you rather I stay alive
But I'll just heal you.
until you're not near me anymore?
Well, then I'll teleport you.
You can teleport people?
Yes, I can.
Why haven't you
Why
done
do you
that before?
underestimate me?
Because you've never fucking done it before.
I didn't want to waste it.
Oh, I just thought that you sang songs and talked a lot. Apparently you can do a lot more. It'd be nice if you
I
would
just thought you swung an
try.
axe.
Swung an axe, yeah, I do. And I hit, and I make damage.
Sure. Okay. This is then with the end.
Oh, wait. You can mend clothes as well. Sorry, no, I forgot that.
Oh, wait, I forgot you can make possible nests. With the bird.
Arukokra.
Cockra. What? Well, let's just investigate then. What the procedure is.
Okay. Because
But I didn't really know Yanagar, you know? Everyone's talking about how important Yanagar is. I met Yanagar for 5 minutes when I came back and Damara was half dead and then suddenly she was gone. I never talked to her.
Yeah, I only had like one conversation with her, and I still don't really understand what went on. But it's... Look, you said you wanted to investigate bringing Willow back as well, did you not? You seem to know him and care about him.
I think we should investigate for Willow's sake.
As you're having this conversation, you start to hear a faint rumbling as Boomy bursts through the wall, stepping with his arms in front of a very dazed-looking Bartholomew in a
loving embrace.
long shippers
Beautiful hole.
with a long white gown on and looking a little bit disheveled, holding a white ceramic jar.
I want to imagine he's got a little nightcap on.
And he's got a little candle as well.
Oh,
Candle.
Does he have a nightcap there?
Sure, he has a
Yay.
nightcap on.
Like one of those Victorian gowns.
He's like Scrooge.
Tufts of white hair coming out underneath it. And he just sort of looks around, and Barty just pushes it. Boomy just pushes him forward over towards Nyx and takes him over to Nyx. So, he's gone.
Yep.
Right. And throws the jar down onto Nyx.
Oh.
The jar appears to sort of slowly crack and start to reform, and as it does, Nyx's body starts to dematerialize into the jar, and then the jar falls back to the ground.
Hagel's freaking out.
He walks over. What are you going to do with him?
What? What are you going to do with him?
Well,
I thought you were supposed to be the one that could bring people back to life or some shit.
no. I can't. Connection to this kind of power, gods and rebirth. Did he?
Die.
Did he have a connection? Did he have a god?
Not to cure? No.
Nocticure.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little bit fortunate. And walks over and sits down by the fire. Notices you don't have your bird. Sort of takes note of it, but you wouldn't see him obviously looking at you. You guys would see that. He can be brought back by someone strong enough. There aren't any practitioners in South Peak as far as I know, at least not now. What if we could get him there? What if we could get him to one? The Nocticuan temple.
Where's...
Or something.
Well, the closest we know is, South Sage? South Sage, yeah.
No.
There's not any here, is there?
No.
No.
No. There have been small shrines that you've seen, but no dedicated place of worship in South Peak. And
are there any in Cleardrift? That's where we're going.
Hayton takes the note over to Bartholomew, who starts to read the note.
His Honour's rest nearby.
He sort of stops, and you wouldn't see him kind of freeze up a bit.
What?
How do you know about honest rest?
The note.
And then he reads the note. It's a place I've wanted to go for a very long time.
Well, lucky you.
Well, wonderful. We're going on a field trip.
I can't go.
Why?
You're not dressed correctly?
You
Well,
can take your
apart
knife
from
out.
me needing to... You wouldn't have seen that he had it on.
Sorry.
I said,
You were
lovely night
lovely
out.
nightcap. Had tomorrow, so I have a duty. Tunnels, and I can't enter physically. As it said, you cannot go there unless you have already been there, and I've never been.
Well, that's a bit of an oxymoron. How are you meant to go somewhere you've never been?
You're invited
Ah,
by a
we
higher
have
power.
parties like that.
But I know someone who can take him.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Who is this person you know?
Dragonborn, gold creature. She's got issues. But
Don't we all?
A gold dragonborn.
yes,
Does she like have? I describe the one we saw, Jinx.
Jinx.
Yeah.
He confirms that that's exactly the Dragonborn that he's talking about.
Is this someone from your past?
This is the Viking that we met.
In
From
South
South
Sage,
Sage.
the three riders.
The chicken.
Yes.
Yes.
The chicken.
I can send for her. She can take you, maybe, if she wants to. I don't really know much about honest rest. It's a place. It's old. It's confusing. God's shit, and passes back through the wall again. Disappears, and Boomy's like, all right.
Do you leave the container with Nix?
He leaves the container. Yeah, he leaves the jar with you guys. Disappears back through the wall.
Pick the container up.
Yeah?
Yeah. What's
It's,
inside?
you can't open it. Doesn't appear to have a top.
Oh no, I don't want to open it. That's, that's terrifying.
It's got a
Friend in a bottle.
it's got sort of a curvature up into the sort of a domed top with a leaf over, like a ceramic leaf draped over the top of the jar.
The jar's opaque.
Yes, for it's all like a cream color.
Did his dagger go in as well?
Can't find it.
Go on.
I have a little case.
A little case.
Yes, in my inventory. Could I put Iris in the case?
Mhm. Yep.
I'm going to do that.
Sure.
Yeah, and then give to Mom the case.
Thank you.
We could find a cure for your bird again.
There's somewhere.
If no one has anything else to do tonight.
Don't think so.
Anwe's getting angry drunk. She's gonna go long meditate.
Yeah. Don't think Cartel sleeps very well. I think she just stares at all the bugs around trying to calm down.
Definitely have a bit of a restless night ahead of you, drifting in and out of sleep. You occasionally hear Boomy shifting from one side of the cabin to the other, very, very quietly. Hayden has had a lot and falls asleep quite quickly. Still, obviously,
I feel
Deep
like
in
Hayden's
thought.
a snorer.
Yeah.
Like out of
Probably.
all of us.
probably.
She's a mouth
100%.
breather.
Yeah, like
And in the morning, you are summoned essentially as Boomy receives some form of telepathic message from Bartholomew saying, "Get your butts over here, and we'll get to it."
Do I see anything groovy in my meditation?
In your meditation,
Mm.
where are you? You would see a number of strong energies in the room, actually interacting with each other. Damara's staff seems to be a little bit. You don't see anything, but your eyes are drawn back to it every now and again, almost as if something's watching you. You kind of feel like something's watching you, but then you look at it and it's just the freaking staff, and it's the same as it always is. So that's odd. Hayton is glowing slightly. There's still a faint blue glow from when she held the gem, which has been dying ever since she held it. Harkel has made her nest and is sleeping.
Yep. Completely void of light.
And the jar, if you are able to sense the magic that would usually be on the party, the jar has some form of magic attributed to it as well. So it's not just dormant.
Okay.
As far as visions are concerned, nothing jumps to you right now.
Oh, and I wrap the jar in my completely fucking useless bedroll that I have, so it doesn't break.
Okay, yeah, do that. Yeah.
For the 4 hours that I am awake and no one else is awake, I'm going to identify some stuff. Do we have anything to identify?
Okay. Can I have given you the dragons? The jar and the dragon scales?
Yeah, 100%. Could I identify the dragon scales and could I identify the jar?
So
And I need to wrap it up in the bedroll again afterwards.
I'm gonna also, while I'm doing it, make a little cute. I'm gonna mend the bedroll into a little cute pouch.
Okay.
Bring them back.
Aesthetically pleasing.
The dragon scales don't resist identification, but they also don't identify. They have no magical properties to them. Beyond the innate magical nature of a dragon. Dragons are magical creatures, and their scales retain at least a modicum of their magic.
Mm-hmm.
How big are they in relation to Harkel? I know they're not big, but
Yeah, they were from the end of the tail. They diamond plate shaped. They sit about the size of, I would say, Harkel's palm. It's wide stretch because she has quite long, cabaldy fingers.
Yeah.
Quite decently sized, but definitely not adult sized, and from the smaller end of a younger dragon's scale. Yeah.
Excellent. This is good news.
I had a green vial and a black longsword from our adventures in the dungeon.
Yep.
And a pouch of cookies. May I please identify those 3 items?
The cookies are cookies.
Cookies are cookies.
Are
What
these-
type of cookies?
What kind of cookies? Yeah.
They're coconut.
Coconut
Ooh.
cookies?
Like coconut ruffs?
Yeah. Like coconut with
Delicious.
no chocolate.
Sick. Anzac cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shit. Okay. Coconut cookies.
The black sword doesn't seem to have any magical nature either.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely sharp and very well made again, but it doesn't seem to have any magical nature to it. And what was the other thing?
Green vial.
The green vial. It is a potion that at first you start to pull the information from it, and it seems to be some form of acid.
Mm-hmm.
However, as your complexity on the spell moves, you discover it's more about the protection from acid more than anything else.
Brilliant.
So you have 1 acid resist potion, which gives you advantages against any acid attack.
Brilliant. And I'm gonna tuck that away.
Do it. Do the thing. Boomy, as the sun peaks, is outside double checking. Rock has been a little bit spooked, tied up to a little bit further down from where you guys were outside. Obviously was part of the commotion. Didn't seem to be attacked itself.
Good.
But doesn't look happy at all. Is a little bit, but Boomy's out there just calming and just talking quietly.
I tentatively pat the rock.
The rock, yeah.
Mm.
Every stroke
Pat,
helps.
pat.
You
When
see
you say rock, do you mean the horse or the
Yes.
dad?
No, I'm not touching the dad.
that would be funny.
I was like, there are 3 different rocks we have here now.
No. The horse.
The horse.
Pat, pat, pat.
Bit the bit.
Hayton gathers her things, and
Do you still have the gems?
Oh, I would have put them back. Yeah.
Oh, and I braid the rock's hair.
you braid the rock's hair.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to say then that you ride the rock over as you are moving, perhaps, and braiding as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
I like that image.
It's cute.
I'm going to shuffle the stones around a bit, so I'm going to put the actual red diamond back into the pouch. I'm going to put the fake red diamond into the chest. As I'm packing stuff up.
Let's go.
So you head on over, trundle
I
through.
side saddle.
It's a breath of fresh air. It's a breath of relief that you feel from the town's very alive right now. There's a lot of tension that builds up toward a void moon, and then it's all released the next day as everyone gets out. The sun is trying to peek through what cloud there is, and the fresh air is blowing again. And you slowly approach Bartholomew's Tower after about 60 seconds, 1.5 minutes maybe of just gentle walking down the road. And Bartholomew, you can see, is standing outside, and the gem at the top of his tower has produced a sort of beacon of light. It's almost lighthousing. And yeah, just standing out the front, watches you approach. Doesn't say much.
I get off the horse and politely knock
On what?
on the door.
He's outside.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
Standing outside the
He's
open
right
door.
Bartholomew.
He's
You knock on Bartholomew.
Hello.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. What do you want from me, woman?
How is the dismount of the horse?
Graceful.
Probably not.
So graceful. It's like a slide. Good morning, Bartholomew.
Yes, quite. She'll be here momentarily. Are you ready? I mean, she can be a bit hard to deal with sometimes. And all 3 of them together, god-awful annoying.
Are they all here?
I don't know. I believe they're in South Sage,
Okay, so we
but
have
I've called them here.
Every day is a practice of tolerance.
Quite.
Yeah, I learned that.
And as you wheel your heads on the horizon, you see a single speck darting toward you,
She's running.
half glinting in the sky. A very big wingspan as you see the familiar sight of the dragon hawk
Oh yeah, the Viking, yeah.
with a single rider on the back come in to swoop low over the houses, over all the low single and double story houses of South Peak, to deploy right up next to the carriage. And Rock sort of startled slightly again, but chills out a little bit. And Jinx is the only rider you can see, the only one who has arrived, and then jumps down off of the Dragonhawk, sort of pats the flank a little bit, and just staring directly at Bartholomew. Just, so, what do you want? He goes, come inside. Yeah. And just turns and walks inside. She's looking at all of you, just, and notices you can't see, walks up beside you, puts her hand on your shoulder, and you feel the first, I guess, other than the sounds you would have heard, you feel a sort of a very gentle hand arrive on your shoulder. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Thank you. But I'll sort of
Push the hand off.
push the hand off, not
Yeah.
like
She
hit
removes it
off,
fairly
but
quickly.
just,
Yeah.
like,
Personal space.
yeah.
She wanders inside.
I give him the bottom of my coat like I used to.
Cool. Inside. And
I'm just like I don't want help. I want to do it myself. And I'm just gonna tap my staff on the ground and try and listen to where everyone's going.
Yep.
I might be a little bit behind, but
you've been there before. Obviously, you can hear fairly well. You're fairly in tune with your surroundings, having been blind for a while and having to be blind without Iris for a while. Fairly easy for you to move.
I make very heavy footfalls.
So your footfalls sound like they're normal then. For a 3 foot,
Yeah.
4 foot, yeah. And Bartholomew vaguely recounts what he read about Honor's Rest, and Boomy, who is with you also, explains the passing, the jar, and upon mention of Honor's Rest, especially, Jinx sort of looks a little bit confused, and then just goes and sits back in a chair. So what do you want?
An exclusive invitation to Honor's Rest.
Do you know what Honor's Rest is?
Of course I don't know what Honor's Rest is. I wouldn't be asking you. I would have gone there.
Right. It is a place of transition, protection for those who protect. It is that a protector's protector in the afterlife. Souls get powerful. They are bartered for. Honor's Rest is a place of connection to the heaven, to the nine. Very few people even know about its existence, but now you do.
Where is Honor's Rest?
It is nowhere, but you can get there through tree, through absence of life. You must be far away from people, and then walk through, and you'll find it. You cannot go, but I can. I can take. I can take. Why would you go to the rest?
We want to bring back our companion and possibly more.
If you try and enter the rest with personal gain more than simple task, you will not enter. You won't get there. And Boomy hands over the note and she reads it and gets a general gist of how you've learnt about this area, this place. This is true. You can go for this, but no other. You cannot greed those who watch over the rest.
Can we pick who we save?
You must pick before you go. If you change your mind inside, I don't know what will happen.
How long does it take to get there?
With me, maybe a day.
If we lost a friend in limbo, that's what you were calling it, could we find them at Honor's Rest?
The rest, you can talk to any god at the rest.
Is it just gods you can talk to, or is it other planes?
I don't understand planes.
What of Grath?
He is there. Every god is there. It is a place made for them, not by them. So whether they choose to be there is their choice. I haven't been there in many years. Long time.
I will go.
So will I.
Do you honor your dead? Looks to you. Do you honor your dead?
Yes.
Nix wanted to die, but Willow didn't.
I'm not so
How
sure
do you
about
know?
that. I mean, I feel like Willow willingly sacrificed himself. I reached out for him before, finding myself back here. But then the same thing happened with Nix, so it's such a hard thing to know. How do we know if somebody wants to come back from the dead? It's not like we can ask them.
Can we ask them at Honor's Rest?
Ask few questions. Choose.
Because then it's not personal gain, it's their gain. If they want to come back, then it's...
Why do you
What they
want them
want.
back? Maybe they are fine. It's not your choice to warden over death. It is the gods. But ask. You may hear, you may not. We go, you talk, we walk.
Okay.
And she gets up and starts walking.
Awesome.
Boomy,
Is there any chance we're walking towards Cleardrift?
she heads west out of the town. Or at least she will, after Boomy turns to Hayton and explains that he wants to go to South Sage. He, after learning about the invasions underground, wants to, with his knowledge, knowing that Bartholomew is staying in South Peak, wants to head to South Sage to investigate and help protect South Sage, it being one of the larger ports, ferryways, knowing that without a doubt, if these beings, creatures are here, guesses that they may try and use South Sage as well as many other places as a place of invasion. So it wants to go and also mentions a friendly owlbear who he met in South Sage and owes him a debt. So takes his leave of Hayton, gives her a big rock hug and nods to the rest of you.
Just sounds like two stones banging
Yeah, that's
together.
what I was thinking. I was like, God, that sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'll send an awakened mind message to both Harkel and Anway real quick. Are we sure we want him to take the Dragon Slayer with him?
Oh shit, did he have it? That's
Yes.
me.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That's me.
Yeah, he still has the sword.
Yeah. Wait. Can we take the sword?
It's been in her family for years.
Whose family?
Harkel.
Roll a deception check.
A 23.
Aha! Yeah. Well, I guess. I mean, you're a little dragon, right? You know how to use this.
Fucking obviously.
She is stronger than she seems.
Well, As long as you're with Hayton, I'd rather you were well equipped. And flings the sword hilt first at you. It's a very well placed throw.
Yep.
Gives you enough chance to grab it.
Do you catch it?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, don't cut yourself with that.
I'm not gonna fucking cut myself with it.
She is
Yeah,
a mighty warrior.
Yeah, thanks.
I've heard you two bickering. But it's nice to see some camaraderie once. All right, be safe. Turns around and stomps off.
Hakel immediately gives it to Only.
This is too heavy for me.
It's pretty heavy. It's a
wait, you don't have
decently
it.
sized longsword.
I just...
I can put it in my
It's
chest.
been in your family.
It's
She's
been
gone,
in your
he's gone. I do it
family.
when she's gone.
You hold on to it.
It's too big to fit in a chest.
Oh, we put it
definitely
in
would.
our carriage with
Wait.
rock,
Yeah.
and I'll wrap it up so it looks like it's a huge sword
Done.
with my bedrock. Good
Done.
job, guys. Good job, team. Nice. I'm gonna write that in my inventory. Okay. Where is the big chicken going?
She walks over to her dragon hawk and whispers a few words, takes off into the air, and she starts walking west out of town towards Serpent's Neck.
Cool.
Oh, okay. I really need to go to Clear Drift.
If you were going to go to Clear Drift, you would have had to go through Serpent's Neck anyway, as the outcroppings and rocks down along the coast provide no pass.
Oh, because we're at South Peak.
You're at South Peak.
For some odd reason, I thought we were at the crossroads.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like,
Nope.
I have to go this way. Yeah, okay, yeah, we follow.
Okay, no worries. For storytelling's sake, the road is fairly clear. Business has returned. You make good time. You feel quite light on your feet walking with Jinx. She, you sense that maybe there is some form of magic being employed. Her garb and other, you see sort of a small sigil hanging from her belt, which suggests that maybe she has some form of arcane focus that a paladin or a cleric might have. Yeah, you make good time along the road towards Serpent Neck.
Are we about to go for a break, or can I talk to Jinx?
You can pull Jinx aside.
Okay. I catch up with her.
Yeah.
Say, have you been protecting the town up in South Sage?
Yes, we double check a few things with our stone. Robar, go and check on that. So I come here. South Sage is safe. Thank you for your help.
And is Nectar safe?
I don't see Nectar. I don't see Nectar.
Does she know who she is?
She knows who Nectar is. And she says, I go to forest, I fly, I don't see where Nectar go.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, she's staying indoors anyway.
Yes, little scale, safe.
What the fuck does that mean? You keep calling me that.
You are a dragon.
Yes.
You are out to fight you. We are family.
You know, I normally...
She doesn't look at you while she's talking. She's looking straight. She keeps walking quite resolutely.
From the way that I've been treated by Dragonborns, I don't see Dragonborns as my family.
Black.
Yeah.
We fight the black as much as you do. They listen to other power. They forget what is Dragonborn.
What power?
Kratuli.
I was told that we were also made by Cryptuli. Are we?
No.
No?
No. Not that simple. Dragonborn come from other plane. We shaped and colored by different places. Black by Kreptuli. They may not like a lot of what they do right now, but they have no choice. They follow. They are bound to him. They go there. In the afterlife, no matter what, they go to Kreptuli.
And do you know much about where Dragonborns are from besides that one? Or dragon people?
We have tales that go north and south of the negative and positive plane. We come from the in-between. We come from the elemental plane. We are the draconic aspect of life from different plane. And when we come to Prime, we take on this form. Gold from heaven. Red from heaven. Black from hell.
And are we from the same place?
Kobold,
Yeah.
long ago, maybe. Yes. And looks down at you. Do you ever get hot when you're angry?
Yeah.
Yeah. There is the dragon in you.
Yeah, I fucking knew that. Do you said you didn't know much about the planes, but do you know much about ancestral guardians? I feel like I would know more about it than you, but I thought that I was asking.
She kind of laughs a little bit.
Oh,
Your
so you do
connection
know.
is strong, young one. I
Yeah,
don't
go
know
on.
about your ancestors. I connect to other people. My clan is small. Just the three of us.
Just the three of you.
Yes.
Why are there only three of you?
We are protectors. We were colored by Lilacor.
Having three sounds a bit lonely.
We have a job to do. We cannot be selfish.
Being with your clan isn't selfish. Having more of you isn't selfish.
You get the sense that she's knowing Robar and knowing the presence that you had from Robar, her brother.
Oh,
She's not used to talking like this.
like personally.
This is one of the only times where maybe she doesn't look very comfortable talking personally, but she listens
Yeah.
and nods and keeps walking.
Also, I didn't call you a clockhead or fuckhead or anything when I first met you. So it was just, I probably shouldn't have said it.
Ha! Mighty Clucks. I like that one. It's funny.
Oh, so you know about that?
Yes,
Oh, I suppose people.
you call me what you want. I call you Archaeo. Little Scale. Defender of her people.
And what do I call you? You never told me your name.
I am Jinx.
Jinx.
And she points up. That's Blade. You see the dragon hawk swooping down.
Did you name him?
And Blade came with me. We are one and the same.
Are the Viking really attached to their pets? Or?
I always know where she is. She knows where I am. We were made together. We were made for the stone. We were made to protect the stone.
You're made for more than that. You're not made, you're born.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
It has been a very long time. I don't remember.
How old are you?
Past Prime Reckoning. 2000. Maybe. I don't know.
I thought Dragonborn only lived to, what, like 80? 90?
Yes. We are different. We are Vicon. We are protector. Our power come from the three. We are gifted life to protect. Much as any protector of a stone is gifted life to protect the stone. The stone seeks protection at all times.
Oh, so you have like actual power to, look, I'm not gonna lie, but we all thought you were kind of assholes and that you're just,
It's okay, we ask.
talking it up and shit.
Have you felt the stone talking to you yet?
No. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't talked, it's given visions to Damara and Hayton. We don't understand it.
Adamant core is powerful.
What does it do?
What does it do? Nothing. Unless you let it out.
You keep talking in these terms that I don't really understand.
Jinx goes on to reaffirm the stories of the stones and how the red holds Adamancor, the red dragon, the ancient red dragon, mostly known as a myth to you guys, a reality, and also reiterates the power of Vivia, the white stone, also known as the Rhapsody of Life, who is the only female dragon and the one to have bound Adamancor to the red stone and bound herself to let the free races of Lixium find their place without divine influence, as they are each, or were each known as sources of divine knowledge.
And
Protectors. Gold.
And the gold?
The gold dragon.
Yeah.
Was known as a friend to Vivia and a fierce believer in justice above all, and didn't initially resisted being trapped within his own stone until Adamancor grew more angry and resided more into his mountain as to create a disruption that Lilacor could no longer ignore, and helped Vivia ban Adamancor into the stone, and then let himself become the gold stone that the Vicon now protect.
Right.
How far off have you been in this conversation?
I wouldn't have pulled her aside or anything. I just caught up with her. Probably talking
I'm gonna
quietly.
say-
So I'd be able to hear from the cart. I've not
Hear on
else
the cart.
to listen.
Yeah, absolutely. You've not got your sight, so I would say that with a fairly low roll, you'd be able to hear most of what's going on. If you've not pulled ahead, she's leading you, so yeah, that's fine.
Talking quietly.
I'll,
A bit embarrassed, but
I'll send Harkel an awakened mind message saying, I'm sorry to keep sending you messages this way. I know you hate it. But if she has been alive for 2,000 years, has she seen these dragons in any other state? Have they ever been released? Does she know how long they've been captured for?
So, a random question. Have you ever seen the dragons outside of the gems? Like when they were released, before they were put in it? Them?
Yeah, there used to be a few. Now not so many. But I heard small dragon arrive.
The black dragon.
Some. Different color, even.
We saw the black dragon in the...
You saw a black dragon.
Yes,
Where?
in the cavern below South Peak.
Why you not say this?
I was just about to fucking say it until you interrupted me.
What's your language?
Fuck you.
She kind of half chuckles.
But, look, I'm concerned because it's a baby. And if there's a baby, then there are parents.
No.
No?
There have been no adult dragon in Lixium for ever. For a year.
Well, when When was the last time you saw a child dragon?
Someone is bringing the eggs. Dragons come from not prime. Someone is bringing young dragon. I have seen red dragon, maybe 150-year-old. That's young.
I thought they were all extinct.
They were.
Then where are they coming from?
I don't know.
Could the gift be bringing them?
Maybe. Maybe Gith. Dragon red, dragon gold don't like Gith, though. They come from somewhere else. Black dragon, Gith. Black dragon born. Bastards.
She's down now. She came to South Peak.
Who? What? Who are you talking about?
Virabeth.
She doesn't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, Virabeth came down to South Peak last night, apparently, and she disappeared.
Yes. Boomy said recently something about tunnel.
I thought she was in the Deciduant.
Yes. I don't know where she go, but we'll find her and kill her.
Well, that's one problem solved.
Oh, cool. Everyone's listening.
And as this conversation continues, we'll take our quick break as it is crested 2 p.m.
Cool.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to have a little
We'll be
short
back.
rest. We'll be back. Re-coffee, refuel. Thank you very much, and we'll see you very soon.
Woo! Bye-bye.
And welcome back.
Oh, tone change.
Well, when you put rip on a bird's head, things
Rip?
get serious. Rip, question mark?
Maybe not.
Sorry, I didn't realise it went up there at the end. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to dive straight back in. I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. That shit's good. And we left on the way towards Serpent's Neck. Lovely little conversation being had with Jinx. And I'm going to say that you are still traveling. You can return back to the road. You have obviously been listening. You guys have been having a little awakened mind messages. And Jinx is still trudging west.
On the road again.
If no one else has further things they would discuss, you would arrive at Serpent's Neck after several hours of travel. It's been most of the day. The sun has moved across the height of the sky.
Can I think it was resolved before, but can I make a check to see how the foliage is going?
Foliage.
Just because I remember
The flora and fauna.
The flora, yeah. Because it was dying when we were back in South Sage.
Yeah, you can do it. Definitely do a check. Do a nature check.
Bless you. Zoom tight.
There we go. Bless you.
15.
15. The closely inspecting what roots and grasses you see, it appears that the chapter is progressing as normal. It is the chapter of settling. It's sort of we're beginning the second half of the calendar year now, and it's not springing forth. It's not super bright green shoots, but the world is still growing. The world is still moving much to what you probably would remember from Iron Trunk.
Okay. Cool. That resolves that.
Can I read my book?
You read your book? No problem. Which one?
The one about dragons.
The one about dragons.
Yeah. The one about the council. I'm going to be reading that one.
Council of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can send me the deets later.
I'll send you the dates later. But yeah, you check up more on how each of the 10 of them sort of a little bit of backstory on the ones that maybe
can
there.
I look through my books and see if there's anything about the cradle? I have the history of 10, and then I have the book of the council.
You wouldn't find anything about the cradle.
Okay.
Cradles.
Cool.
The cradle is also a location.
Okay.
Northeast of the Whispering Woods.
I feel like that's a clue. Okay, cool. Cool.
As you approach the town, Jinx turns north, skirts the town away off the path, and heads towards a fairly heavily wooded area ahead of you.
Is this as we approach Serpent's Neck?
As you approach Serpent's Neck, she skirts the outsides of the town and continues walking north, up along where you can see the river snake north, and over to that dense of trees.
Okay.
When we were up in South Sage, had the owlmare, what was his name?
John Draff?
John Draff. Had John Draff said that there was some kind of task that he'd set us in Serpent's Neck? Was that with Blue Dragonborn or Dragon Wormlings or something like that?
That was a Jordan thing, wasn't it? So Jordan had set out a number of tasks that John Draff wanted completed. It did have to do, I think, something to do with Blue Dragon. Blue
Dragonborn or something in Serpent's Neck.
A lot of this was tied to Kenku invasion. As far as you're aware, you can't really, unless you can remember what was asked of you, you didn't take up that task. But yes, if you remember it being mentioned at some point.
Okay. Is there any sign of blue dragonborn as we're skirting the outside of Serpent's Neck or any commotion?
Yeah, do an investigation check.
Yeah, what's the
Well-
population here? Oh, yeah, I do
I
that.
probably
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
don't notice anything.
yeah. I'll do it.
You do an investigation check?
Yeah.
Roll.
Can I help her?
If Tamara says I'm looking for Blue Dragonborn, I'm sure both of you would
Okay.
probably like
Yeah.
to help. Yep.
Yeah. I'll ask.
A50.
15?
17.
17? As you approach Serpent's Neck, you see a very industrious looking area. Those of you who are familiar with this area, you probably might know. Serpent's Neck is quite well known for wood constructions, especially hull parts, wooden structures, beams, growing a lot of their own woods and forming them themselves. And on scanning the edges of the walls, what you can see within the walls, you can see maybe one Blue Dragonborn amongst 30 people you can see.
What are the rest of them?
There are a few humans. You can see an orc or two, probably a half orc by their lesser stature. Couple of dwarves, definitely. A lot of wood elves. You can see a lot of wood elves hanging out. Everyone seems to be bustling and working. They look either like they are some form of crafter. Not a lot of well-dressed people. It seems to be a very industrious town.
Sure. We were like, well, I relate.
Can I ask Jinx about the procedure of going to
Absolutely.
Honor's Rest?
Absolutely.
With Honor's Rest. How does one enter?
When you come back, you'll know. But for now, you leave that to me. Just
You really talk in circles, don't you?
I have lived a long time. People do things with the things you tell them. And heads
So
towards.
we need a simple task if we go to Honor's Rest.
Do not get greedy. This is an opportunity. You are lucky. So,
Should
if you
we-
choose something, make sure you ask honestly and do not lie.
Should we get a question each?
Okay.
Or decide questions to ask?
How many questions do we get? Depends on the question.
How big is a body of water? Cannot answer this question. And before she enters the tree line, sits down and starts making a little fire and pulls out. It looks like a little stone tent. It's like a little rock, but it's shaped like a piece of canvas draped over a wooden beam. Looks like a little miniature, like a little relic of some kind. And she whispers to it and throws it down on the ground and
Do I hear what she whispers to?
roll a perception check with advantage.
Um, 14.
Nope.
Okay.
And you immediately feel some unseen energy move up around you. And you watch as the world around you slightly starts to distort and move. You'll be safe. No one can see us. We rest. In the morning we go. You sleep. Get energy. Sleep. And continues making a small fire. The coals laid down to come and skirt the edge and nestle into what looks like some form of shimmering dome that apparently has concealed where you are currently resting.
Big is wide.
Big.
Big.
Like the Weasley tent?
There's no physical appearance. If you were to walk outside of it, you turn around and see nothing.
Uh-huh.
And then you walk back into it and you suddenly see everyone appear in front of you.
Okay.
It's around 60 feet in diameter.
Brilliant.
So this
I like
just
that.
protects us from the outside.
The invisibility.
Yes. We don't want people to see us, and
Thanks,
I don't want to explain shit to Serpent's Neck dickhead. They simple folk ask question they don't understand.
How do you learn how to do this?
This is an old gift. I help someone, they help me. And lies down and closes her eyes.
Well, I think that is good night.
Alright. How tense is she right now?
Doesn't seem any more or less tense than she usually is. She's got fairly sturdy splint mail on. Removes maybe the pauldrons and stuff before she lies
I thought
down.
she was going to sleep with her armor on.
No, she wouldn't have the whole lot on.
Mm.
Okay.
Seems perfectly comfortable lying on the ground as it is.
I
The
will
night,
go to sleep.
the night progresses without incident.
Rest.
Full rest. And you awaken the next day. Jinx picks up her little stone tent, chucks it back in a little pouch she keeps on her belt next to her reliquary, and looks around. Are you ready?
As ready as I will ever be for something I do not know anything about.
Okay.
Be careful. Do not disturb the graves. Leave them.
Are you coming?
Yes,
Okay.
we go. And you start walking into the woods. You can see Yannigar. You can see Jinx pulls out her sword. She doesn't seem to be holding it with any strength. Maybe it's a focus. As she feels her way forward, occasionally she sort of changes direction and continues walking into the woods. They get denser and denser and harder to walk through. You can feel the roots pushing up through the ground. You have to start to find your footfall. Damara, this gets a little bit tricky for you. But with Jinx's help, you slowly pick your way through the forest until it starts to clear just a little bit. It starts to open up just a little bit into a semblance of a path ahead of you. I'm going to open up something now because I can actually show you
Ooh.
where you are.
Does that mean death is coming to us? I
Mhm.
get nervous every time you show me your board.
Even though it looks cool every time.
Every time I'm like,
As it is.
wonderful! Now I have to escape death again.
What is...
Oh, the abyss. Calls my name.
Getting really in it now.
Oh, yep. Yep. Oh, Nixie boy.
Poor Nixie. Huh?
Nixie? Oh, Nixie, mate. Just
You guys are trying.
couldn't sleep. All been there. Should have just tried a good book and a bit of milk.
Some more milk.
Maybe a bit of wine.
Some drops of that.
Steady tried death.
Yeah, does Andre have a hangover?
Oh, not now. It's been 2 nights.
Oh,
Thank God.
yeah, true, yeah.
I was really concerned about that. I was like, oh, we're going to go to the afterlife and I'm going to be hungover. Could you imagine? I meet Graf for the first time. I'm like, hey, Yeah, wild night.
Your resplendent
Talk
divine
a
light. I
little
can't
quieter,
remember.
yeah.
Your impending voice that filters through the world is too loud for me. I know you speak to all things, but maybe we
Maybe
could
don't
talk
speak
less.
to me.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favourite Shakespeare lines. I'm going to totally fuck it up now, but it's like, I do wish we were less acquainted.
Alrighty.
Ooh!
Oh!
So this is the clearing in which you find yourselves
Oh,
at.
Ben!
Good job,
There's
Ben!
some sexy
We love
trees!
you, Ben.
Is
Look
my
at the
laptop
trees!
okay, Ben? Did he say anything?
Wow.
And
Dude!
Jinx.
This is the best
doing?
work
Yeah.
that he has ever done.
This looks amazing. Like the light on the lanterns
It
as
actually
well.
looks like a video game.
Yeah.
So the lanterns
Oh my
begin to
god, that
appear in the
moving
trees,
camera.
and you are presented with
Oh, this is some cult weird stuff.
Oh, fuck. We're...
this image. You look around to see, as you count 9 stones around you. They are each have fairly similar characteristics. There is one that stands out beyond any of them, which is the 3rd stone. I'm going to point with Jinx right here.
Mm-hmm.
Is not a grey shale. It is a black color, and there appears to be some form of substance covering it. It doesn't look good. And in front of you, you see 5 gravestones and 5 lanterns, of which 4 are lit. Jinx turns back to you all. Look, explore, make the right decisions. I don't know how long we can stay, but you are here now. And the next time you remember this place and you move unseen, you will find it.
How many graves are there?
There are 5 graves.
Is this
Ooh.
information about what's around relayed?
Look at the ground.
Good
Yeah,
job,
nice.
Ben.
So cool.
One,
yes, it's all
one
relayed.
of the lanterns is not lit.
Ooh.
Great.
I'm assuming that I've somehow picked up from conversation that there
You can see
I can see.
slightly.
Ooh.
You can, as you look around, sorry, I should have explained this to you.
Okay.
As you look around, you start to notice energy. You can feel energy. This whole place buzzes with some form of magic. The leaves beneath your feet aren't just leaves. The wood around you, the stones, the trees, everything has some form of essence. And as you look around, you can sense the essences form into shapes and create what would be rudimentary sight, I guess, at low, like a low light sight.
Yeah.
And you are able to make your way around fairly easily. You see 8 stones. There's one you do not see.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you are able to move around. The tree in front of you, the tree that seems to tower above the rest of them, is huge and seems to be connected to everything around it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of energy going on here.
It's so easy.
I might actually, as I'm starting to experience all that energy around, might pop a true berry,
Yeah, absolutely.
which gives me
Gives you true sight.
true seeing. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it says, for the duration, the creature has true sight, notices secret doors hidden by magic, and can see into the ethereal plane, all
Yep.
out to a range of 120 feet.
So, in this place, you don't see the ethereal plane. The ethereal plane does not overlay over what you're seeing,
Mm-hmm.
which you probably very easily suspect that you are no longer on the prime plane.
Mm.
Because everything on the prime is reflected in the ethereal.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see any hidden doors.
Mm-hmm.
You would see this second stone, the one sitting down near some water over here. You would see a figure standing near it. A female of some form standing next to the stone, just watching you.
Yep, I'm going to approach the figure.
Can we see it?
She doesn't appear familiar to you. How often did you touch Willow's sword? I seem to remember you touched it at least once.
Once, I think.
Well, it's a
So did I.
slightly familiar voice you hear say, "Oh my god, you're finally here."
Hey.
Are you Trix?
Yeah. Tricks.
Trix. My apologies. My sincerest apologies.
Who are you talking to?
She leans one hand up against the stone, and you see her materialize a bit more as the two of you and Hayden all gain vision of her.
Oh.
And how the hell are you guys still alive? This is freaking insane.
Can I try and find Grath's phone?
Yeah.
What can we ask Trix?
No, because they said that we have to pick who we talk to. No.
You haven't done anything yet.
Okay. I don't want to pick tricks. I'm just being careful.
These stones, do each of the stones belong to one, each connected to one of the gods?
She gestures up and you see etched into the stone a perfect circle above the one that she is currently standing next to. And if you were to go around and look at each of the stones,
They each similarly
starting from
have circles.
the left here, around the 9 stones on the left, you would see a skull on the closest to the left. The next one along, you would see a crescent moon. I will send all this to you in a little message. The third stone along, you would gaze on its surface and see nothing. It is a black stone. It appears to be rotting. It appears to be almost crumbling.
It sounds like your mate.
The fourth stone around, you see a pentagram point up. The stone directly beneath the tree, you see a tree. A simple, leafless tree. The stone next to that one, you would see a symbol of a snake eating its own tail. You recognize that immediately. The next one along is a single-edged lightning bolt. Then the circle, which Trix is standing underneath. And then the one closest to you on the right is a blade, or an inverted V. Like that. I'll send all that to you in a message.
Oof.
Awesome.
Is Willow okay?
He's fine. My god, he protested though. He kept trying to come back. What a dickhead. Anyway.
Why is he a dickhead for wanting to come back?
Because it was for his greater good and not the world's. He has shit to do. Dawn's fine. He didn't believe me. Now they're together.
His kid's dead.
He's alive.
What?
Well, you didn't think I went in there for nothing. Celestine abandoned him. But I've got enough left in me to bring him back. He's fine. You thought he was dead this whole time.
Well, yeah.
Oh, shit. and puts her hand up and loses a bit of her jovial look. You can see a crack straight through the middle of Celestine's rock stone. Some of the topmost stones have fallen off it a bit. She's not here. And I don't like who's replaced her. You know the guild.
So they do have her power then.
All of it. It's fucking stupid. None of the other gods like it. But they got it. And mortal means with the god's power. It's scary.
Wasn't it said that all the gods are immortal?
Very long time ago. In order to maintain power, you probably have to do something to not fuck up with it. I don't know. And looks over to Jinx, nods a little bit. Jinx is not even looking at her. She's staring in disbelief at the unlit grave.
Okay, I turn to Jinx. What?
Whose grave is it?
She just points at it. Walks away.
Is there a headstone?
Yeah. Inscription.
You want to read it?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yes, I will
Yeah.
read it.
Wait. Oh, wait, you can see. Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna slowly dawdle towards the one with the snake.
So you take a look at the unlit grave. You can read it perfectly. It doesn't appear to be in any language. As you look, it forms every language you know. And you read very carefully at the top. Yanagar Riala, Warden of the Afterlife, Guardian of the Rhapsody of the Heart. Survived by her daughter Thala. Past 1564 by divine intervention. Soul-bound dishonorably in the prime, yet to rest.
What do the other graves say?
You would like to read along the graves?
Mm-hmm. If I
Directly
read them,
to-
I read them.
Directly to her left, you read Skarl Kerrigan. I'll send all this to you as well.
Yeah, cool.
Scribe of the heavens, teacher of the mystics. Last of his line. Past 487 PR, which is prime reckoning, which by your reckoning is over 1,000 years ago. By misadventure. Now at rest with Kalazar. The one next to that says Jewel Kate, the unrelenting voice, the gentle smile. Survived by her son and daughter, past 781 PR with her family. Now at rest with Grouth. Along again is Akashi Idril, the people's friend, rider of Windbane. Survived by her daughter Kish Idril. Past 211 PR, defending her land. Now at rest with Trinks. And on the very left, there is Don Hillmane, champion of the mountain, liberator of dwarf folk. Survived by his son Druin. Past 342 PR in peaceful surround. Now at rest with Spire.
And the year that was on Yanagar's is the year now.
Current year.
But hers unlit. I go to Jinx. What does it mean that she's not? Her grave isn't lit.
Does it have to do with her soul being trapped here?
She's not here. She's supposed to be.
Well, where is she then?
Doesn't know.
Why is nothing we ever do simple?
As I go towards the stone,
Mm-hmm.
do I feel anything?
1 second. So you go to the fourth stone, the stone next to the middle with the tree. It's got a snake with an inverted tail it's a snake eating its own tail. Circle on the top. As you approach the stone, you can feel a warmth. You can feel something there. It feels a bit familiar. It doesn't feel very strong, but there's something there.
I'm gonna touch it.
You're gonna touch the zone?
But like very lightly like that.
You put both hands on the stone. You
And pray in Sylvan.
you reach out to touch the stone, and almost like static electricity, but it doesn't shock you. You just feel it enter you, and your mind reels back, and you are in a dimly lit cavern. You can hear the trickling of water. You can feel a faint breeze coming from somewhere. You can't see any light. You can't see an entrance or an exit. It's fairly dark. But you feel yourself move, like a step forward. You're not taking any steps. You just feel yourself moving, then turn around and pace back again. And then something notices maybe you, and just stand still.
Take ground.
Feel the head bow a bit, and then a blinding flash of light. You can feel pain racking through you as some energy rips you off the stone, and the stone on your left, the black stone, sends a bolt of energy firing deep into the stone you've been touching. The thunder surrounds you. You feel the ground shake, and you are forcefully pushed off the stone.
Fuck up the stone.
Which one? Which one?
I'm gonna. I don't know if I can attack it. I don't think I'm strong enough. I'm gonna hit the black stone with my dagger.
Your dagger. Okay.
Like as a knee-jerk reaction to being pushed away.
Do you run over, or are you just going to throw it?
I'm gonna throw it.
Roll to hit.
What's this black stone?
Huh?
What's this black stone?
The third one along
The third
was
one along.
black and rotting, and
I only
had
got a
symbol.
7.
Ah, yes.
Your dagger flies wide, disappears into the trees.
Okay.
I'm going to approach the black stone, and first of all, do I sense anything as I get close to it?
You've got true sight on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something undead about it. There's something deathly about it. It's got no inscription.
Mm-hmm.
You remember seeing a skull on the first stone.
Yep.
But it's got a deathly energy. It doesn't feel the same as the rest. It doesn't feel like it belongs here.
I'm going to guess you didn't hear anything.
No, but I saw something. Someone.
Is it your god?
I think so. I'm gonna touch the stone again.
With which one? Again, the other one you touched before. Okay. You reach out to touch, and as your mind swells and you feel the energy enter you, it pushes you back out. just softly.
Alright. Well, unless anyone has an objection, I wouldn't mind seeing what happens if I touch this stone. Gesturing to the undead, rotting.
Go ahead.
Hearing that, Jinx, she move ahead of you, pull her sword, and just put it down by her side, and stands up against the stone next to you. Next to the stone.
Mm-hmm.
This is Kreptulis.
Oh.
It's not like this usually. Touch. I will take off your hand if you get stuck.
Thank you. I reach out tentatively, but reach out and place my hand onto the stone.
There is a force that overwhelms your senses to not touch the stone. You don't want to. Emboldened by your connection, emboldened by the strength that you hold, you place your hand on the stone, and there's a coating to it, almost like a tar. It sort of is. If you look really slow, it's moving slowly down the stone, and you are moved into sort of a swirling image of a forest. You're flying above it. There's mists below you, not too dissimilar to the ones that you're currently in. And you feel yourself sort of gently floating down. You see little spot fires throughout the forest. Careful ones there, lots of creatures moving in and out. Areas where there's trees being felled. You can see every now and again a tree just falling. And as you move down deeper, the black of the forest starts to move, and you notice that it's actually people. There's people in there.
Yeah. I want to move towards I want to look for this black tar, the source of this black tar, and I'm guessing that's towards the felling of the trees, and reminiscent of what was happening in the decidutant forest or whatever, from what we're told.
So you wheel down. You see goblins. You see full-blooded orcs. You see black dragonborn. A lot of black dragonborn. In smaller groups spotted around this forest. As you wheel down, you pass straight through them. You enter almost a campfire with a bunch of orcs around. You hear the black speech as they talk to each other and joke and laugh, and then punch jovially on the side of the cheek. You can feel a heavy fist thud against her face. The green skin damp with moisture. The forest is warm. You pass down into the fire, and then below you feel earth, and you just rushing of stone, and then the stone opens up, and you see a gargantuan black dragon. Beyond any myth or tale that you will have ever heard about what dragons could or should be, just half lying down, its wings out and blanketing two of the walls, its head up, watching something in the corner. And as you wheel down,
I want to look at what it's looking at.
Yeah.
I want to check that out.
You wheel down and around and look over, and you almost start to pull back into the dragon as your vision turns out, where you start to move back into the direction of the dragon's behind you. You can feel this encroaching presence envelop you. It doesn't seem to take you, but you're there. You definitely feel like you're there. and you spot in the corner a very slight humanoid, dressed quite simply, cloth pants, cloth top, sort of a short styled hair, looking a little bit raggedy, but very clean, very serene face, pacing, sort of taking a couple of steps and then taking a couple of steps back.
Do they look like the dragon has them trapped there? Like, do they look more like a prisoner or a guard?
They definitely look like a prisoner.
Yep.
They occasionally avert the eye of the dragon, and sometimes looking at their hands, and then will sit down on the rock and look up, and then looks in your direction and gives a cheeky smile, and looks directly into your eyes.
Nice. I'm going to try to send an awakened mind message saying, I am Damara. Who are you?
Okay.
Captive.
You watch this being flit their eyes to the left, and you can see them losing their sight in this monstrosity behind you, and then looking back over to you. You don't get any words.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
Do I see any symbol or mark or...
roll a nature check.
Okay. 16.
16. You feel yourself breathing new air. You feel yourself sitting underneath a tree, and the tree is filtering its air for you. You feel yourself growing and becoming stronger. And you begin to feel fresh, reborn. The connection to your patron almost is forgotten. Not entirely, but you feel fresh.
Yeah.
You feel like there's new air in your lungs. It's essentially the feeling. Before you see from the corner of your eye a tail come up and then straight through you and sends you back, and your hands removed from the stone. Some of the black substance still on it actually comes off quite easily.
Okay.
But whilst you were doing that, you guys would have seen the stone with the snake on send another bolt of energy back at the black stone.
Okay.
What did you see?
I saw an adult black dragon. Bigger than any I'd ever imagined. It seemed to be kept underground in some sort of a cave of sorts. And it had a prisoner. I don't know who the prisoner was. They were simply clothed with messy hair, but there was something about them, seemed very fresh and powerful. They seemed like they were trapped.
Is this a vision or is this the future? Is this happening now? Is it nothing?
I couldn't say for sure, but What I saw reminded me a lot of what we were told was happening in the deciduant forest.
So there's a
This black slime that was corrupting the waters, or something similar.
so there could be another black dragon. Was there anything else?
Nothing that really stood out in the same way.
I'm gonna put my hands back on the grass and this time kind of push in
Push in.
and say in Sylvan, why have you abandoned us? We are dying.
Still humming with the energy that it seems to have thrown back at the black stone. You can feel it's a little bit weaker now. The connection between your fingers and the stone is still there, but lacks the potency that it did a few minutes ago. Your vision doesn't change, but you just hear the word help.
I need to find Graf.
You didn't hear anything?
I just heard help.
Oh,
Yes, that isn't a good beginning.
no.
There was somewhere dark. And cold. You said you felt fresh?
Yes, like the air I was breathing was fresher, lighter, more energizing.
That doesn't sound like Cryptuli.
But it would remind you of how it feels to walk back into Faintamen.
It does not remind me of Creptuli in the slightest. I do not think that it was Creptuli that was trapped there.
Hmm.
Perhaps it was Graf that was trapped there.
It may have been.
They were somewhere dark and cold.
It definitely may have been. Is this skull the symbol of Noctica?
On the stone over here.
The first one?
You're guessing that's probably it.
Well, do we see what we can do for Nyx?
Yeah.
Ours too.
I take the jar out of my bag. Does it? Because we weren't told what to do. So, is it?
Do you have the note with you? Yeah. So on reading the note, if Anwei was to read it out to you again, the only thing that was mentioned was
Your
to...
dagger, do we have the dagger?
No. It's in the jar.
It's okay. It's with Nyx.
Its essence is in the jar.
Mm.
And so it says to put the dagger into the stone, essentially.
Mm.
I don't know how to talk to gods. You talk to Noctica more than I have.
Well, I didn't so much talk to Noctica, but I think you have the strength for this.
Go up and touch the stone.
Mm-hmm. As you touch it, you feel the ground fall away beneath you, as if you're immediately falling. It's shocking, but you fall. And as you fall through the ground, you find yourself floating somewhere. You can see ripplings of. It's some form of water, maybe, but it's moving slower than you imagine water moving. Very dark.
She's absolutely freaking out.
You hear, it's not your time.
I hold out the jar.
The jar?
Yeah.
As you're touching the stone, you guys would see as she was touching the stone, the jar sinks into the stone. And you're pushed back off the stone.
Thank God.
Your vision clearing again. You can feel gravity take place as you seek yourself back on the ground. And this stone begins to form the visage of Nyx. And then as the stone starts to take color, you can see the eyes are closed. And Nyx's body slowly pushes back out of the stone and then collapses on the ground. Its eyes don't appear to open.
I go over to him and check for a heartbeat.
It's beating.
He's alive. It worked.
Jinx immediately comes over and places her hand, and you can see a light energy flow down her hand into Nyx, and some of the color restores, some of the feathers start to straighten out a little bit. Still doesn't regain consciousness, but she says, he's here. What did you say? Did you see?
I didn't say shit. I just held the jar out.
It's clever.
Okay.
I didn't want to talk to it.
It is a thing to talk to a god. Best left for the afterlife.
I don't have anything to say to them, so...
Fuck them.
Can I go to the Noctica stone?
Yep.
With Iris and say, I do not know where to start with a respectful burial for this bird that has been my greatest companion. But I feel like you are the being to ask.
Do you place your hands on the stone?
And I will place my hand on the stone as I ask.
You are gently lifted off your feet as you feel yourself move. The world starts to lose its color and fall behind you as the mist comes ahead of you. The first thing you notice is this is not like the last time you spoke with Nocticure. There is no grand visage. There's no sound. There's no other creatures. But this is the first time where you feel completely penetrated by Nocticure's side. To the point where roll a perception check with advantage.
11.
11?
Yep.
It feels different, and you're not exactly sure why. You may even be questioning whether or not you've even met Nocticure before.
Yep.
This is
Completely new
completely new sensation.
Okay.
And you hear, have no care, and you are pushed back. And the world starts to take color again. You feel your hand lighter. But as you trace your eyes up the stones, you see wings down, beak down, a new formation of stone on the top, which resembles eyes.
I admire it for a moment. And just step back and admire.
I'm going to touch the big black stone.
You touch the big black stone?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll see what happens next week.
Oh, fuck off.
Sorry. But that's a big deal. Yep. So I'd also love that to happen with Nick's around. So welcome back, Jordan. They frickin' did it.
Woo!
Yeah. Well done, guys.
The law
That's
lives
great.
another day.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining us for episode 19 of Celestial Sabotage. I believe I forgot to update the frickin' first one. Who cares? A rat's doodle.
We are 19.
We are 19. We're 19.
It's still fresh.
That's so fresh but old, but everything we are. All the gods rolled into one.
We know best.
Yeah, man. Thank you all for listening at home. Big thank you to my players for such amazing work. It's a pleasure to produce this kind of stuff for these guys and to see where they take it. Never goes exactly where I think it's going to go, but we still ended up at the Canstones. We will return with hopefully a full complement next Sunday at 12:30 p.m. AEDT. Until then, stay safe. Thank you, everyone, and bye-bye.
Bye.